Wednesday on Thursday we're living well. Okay, and today we're going to talk about part one of God's pruning process. Um, the the interesting thing about the pruning process is this: a lot of times is that it's something that we don't really understand when it comes to God, because some of the things that God begins to prune us from a lot of times tend to be uncomfortable. You have to understand what pruning means. Pruning means to cut away from, to cut away something that is either dead or unproductive and hinders your growth. Okay, it is a cutting away of something that is dead, unproductive, and hinders your growth. Okay, and so what happens a lot of times is when God starts to prune you, you start to feel a lot of things detaching from you. You know, when you come into a greater understanding of the services of living for God and walking in the ways of God, and understanding that there is things that are going to get removed from your life. There are people that will be removed from your life. And if I can really take this to the next level, that even with you being and giving your life to Christ, there are other people that are living in Christ that will find themselves being pruned from you. And so these things occur. Sometimes they occur in seasons, and sometimes they're permanently removed from us. Okay, so I don't want you to be discouraged when God starts removing things from us. And I don't want you to be discouraged when things that are close to you begin to find themselves detached from you, and people that you once were really close with, quite honestly, you start losing that connection place. It's not that somebody has a bad spirit all the time. It's not that you've done anything wrong to create this, but this is just part of God's pruning process. Because one thing about God, he says this: he says, I will have no other God before me. And we got to realize that if we're going to serve him, that there is and will be a cutting away. And sometimes the cutting away, sometimes the pruning occurs in just seasons of time. Sometimes it's not a permanent detachment from someone or something. Sometimes it's just for a season. Because one thing about God is that he's always detecting our lives to see where things are growing. He's always detecting our lives to see where things should die off. He's always detecting things from our lives to see what is not beneficial for our growth. And a lot of times, if I can be honest, the things that are closest to us, sometimes it's our spouse. Believe it or not, sometimes there will become seasons of separation against our spouse. Not as far as like separating and living in different places. I'm just talking about that the closeness that you may feel with like your spouse or your kids. There may become, or even certain situations, there may become a distance between what you was once closely connected to, because God is doing a cutting away. He is removing the fat of relationships. He's removing the fat of the unwanted places. Because listen, a lot of us aren't growing. When you're not feeling the growth of the things in God, it's because that God is saying there's some things that's got to be cut away. There's some things that's got to be removed. There's some things that's got to be taken away from where you are, because it's stopping you from where you're going. I thought about this, and I was going to talk about this on yesterday, but Job is a prime example of God's pruning process. Now listen, the Bible talks about Job being an upright man and eschews evil and all of these things. Job was in the marketing of living for God. He was in the place of doing what God was asking him to do. Come on, somebody know what I'm talking about right there. Sometimes we find ourselves doing all that we know how to do. Come on now. And we're doing everything. We're resisting the devil and letting him flee. And we're coming against the strongholds of the enemy. And all of a sudden, tragedy strikes Job. His house, he starts losing cattle, he starts losing kids, and all of this calamity begins to come on his life, all because God and Satan had a conversation. Come on here. You got to know that if you are enduring so much calamity right now, if you are enduring so many attacks, we'll just say attacks, okay? And it seems like everything is coming at you from the left and right, and it seems like it just won't stop. It seems like one thing you're dealing with an eviction notice, the next thing you're dealing with a disconnection notice, the next thing you know, you got a coworker at work that's creating hard times for you, or you got a loved one that's creating several problems, and you're dealing with all of these different things in your life back to back to back. And it seems like it just will not stop. It seems like you can't catch a break. Just like Job, it's like everything just continued to happen with him over and over and over and over and over again. And nothing was seemingly working in his life, and he was living right. How many of us are just trying to just live this life right, and we don't ask for attacks? Come on here. And we don't look for situations to bog us down and to try and discourage us. But if you really understand the pruning process of God, you will know that every attack that God has brought on your life, every attack that God has allowed, let me say it right, that God has allowed on your life is because you are living upright. It's because you are eschewing evil. It's because you are avoiding the things that would cause many to fall, but you are deciding to live what's right before the Father. And so this conversation, God told to the devil, he says, have you considered my servant Job? Now listen, watch this. I'm just kind of going off memory right now. He said, have you considered my servant Job? Now listen, Satan is just a wandering spirit, a wandering adversary, seeking whom he may devour. He's looking for an opportunity to create destruction. And so he doesn't even know where to attack or who to attack. But God mentioned Job. And then they start conversing back and forth. He said, well, if you took this away, I bet he would curse you. And he said, you can do this, you can do this. And then God put a restriction on it. He said, but you can't touch this. Come on here. Listen, I want to share this with you in God's pruning process. Then when things start to fall off of you, and you start to lose money in the process, and you start to lose things in the process, to just know this, that this pruning process, that everything is not off limits, except for what God says is off limits. Come on here. You are protected. Just know that. If you don't hear nothing else, just know that you are protected in an area in your life that the enemy can't get to. I don't care whatever else he may attack around your life. There are certain restriction places that God says you just can't touch. Come on here. You got to know that the Father loves you enough not to let the enemy utterly destroy you. That he's protecting you in the areas that you need protected the most. Just know this. You may lose loved ones. I'm not talking about death. I'm just saying that they may detach from you. You may even be detached from your own children. I don't know. All I know is that whatever God is removing from your life, whatever is being stripped from your life, whatever is being taken from your life is not by accident. But it's by a divine plan in God. It's by a strategic plan in God for God's pruning. Because one thing you have to understand about pruning is this. Whenever there's a cutting away, it's because God says there's something that needs to grow from it. And I told you that God is removing dead things, unwanted things, and unproductive things. And as he began to remove this, and I know it may seem like, God, he took his children out. Man, he took his home, and he didn't even do nothing, man. I mean, come on now. I can understand if I was disobedient. I can understand if I was, doing something vengeful or trying to get back at someone or trying to do something of that nature. But listen, I'm just trying to live right. How many people just say, look, I'm just trying to live for God. I ain't even trying to go into warfare and all those things. I'm just trying to live. I don't hear nobody right there. I'm just trying to live for him. And then I got all of this stuff, this calamity coming at me. Come on here. Who am I talking to on that? You're just trying to just live life for God. Come on now. I'm just trying to do ministry. I'm just trying to speak and do the oracles of what God has called me to do. And here I am getting attacked for no reason. No, it ain't for no reason. It's for the divine growth of the things of God. Because whether we like it or not, or whether we know it or not, know this, that nothing is removed from our lives that God is saying it's not a part of your growth for. There is nothing you can do in God's kingdom that at the end of the day, growth is not involved in it. If ever you feeling yourself under major attacks, if ever you feel yourself under the scrutiny of so much going on around you, just know this, that it is not by accident. It is by God's divine plan to mature us. And how you respond, come on here, how you respond to your attacks determines a lot of how you're growing. It's easy to say it. I know it's easy to say have faith, Bell. I know it's easy to pronounce and declare you to have faith when you have to use your faith. And it's a different thing when you have to start living it out. And God's saying that if I'm doing the purging, I need to see some growth. If I'm doing some cutting away, I need to see some benefits of what it is that's being cut from you. Because listen, to live is Christ, come on now, and to die is gain. To live is Christ, but to die is gain. So God's saying that every time there's a purging, a pruning going through, whenever my pruning process is coming through, I'm coming through to see who's living for me or who's alive in you. Come on here. I'm coming through the process to see who's living for me and who's alive in you and what's alive in you. You understand what I'm saying? I said it one more time. When God starts his pruning process, he's using it to see what's alive in him or what's alive in you, so that he can see what's irritating you, what's causing the imbalance of why your growth in him must occur. He's trying to figure out what things irritate us, because listen, the things that irritate us, that we hate to see lose, are the areas God says, these are the areas that I need to surgically operate on. Because listen, whether we like it or not, God is detaching us from the earth. The more you live in him, the more you should become less concerned with the things of the earth. Because you're going to where he is. And you're becoming like him. He didn't come to be a part of the earth. He was in the earth, but not of it. That's what the word says. He was in it, but not of it. And God says, I need for you to be in it, but I don't need you to be connected to it. And so if ever you start finding yourself connected to the worldly things so much that it starts to pull you off the track of God, just know this, that God says, you're going to have me. I got to start pruning you. I got to start purging you. I got to start cutting away at the things that are keeping us from him. This is good to me on today, because I know somebody else is dealing with this. And I know some of y'all going to get up in the morning and listen at this. And I thank God for you. And I thank God for the support of everyone that will hear this message in the dark, coming to the light, if you will. But just know this, that if he's cutting it away, if it's being detached from you, don't fight with it. Don't fight with it. Don't fight with it. One thing about product fruit when it's ready to come up, when it's ready to be removed from the ground, is that it ain't no struggle to try and get it out of the ground. You pull that carrot out, it comes right out. Why? Because it's no longer connected. And God is saying that whatever is no longer connected, just let me remove it. Let me get it out of your way. Because listen, it's time for us to grow. And if you still upset behind some things that keep you upset over and over and over again, God says you're still trying to detach from the earth. More pruning is needed. So listen, that's my word for this Wednesday, Thursday technically. But I want to just thank you all on today, and I pray that it's received, not so much of what you see visually, but you will hear the heart of the servant in which I give it. On Wellness Wednesday, where we're living well, where being well is living well. Y'all, I will see you all soon. Take care.